And I'm back with Spirit of Justice. And Phoenix has chosen to defend Ahlbi. So let's get it going. I didn't kill Mr. Roll. I didn't steal the treasure. I'm not allowed to go anywhere near the treasure room. I've never even seen that treasure box with the great Chinese butterfly on it. When the incident happened, I was in the hallway planning my tour route. Were you well acquainted with the victim? Yes. We used to chat with me whenever we ran into each other in the temple. Mr. Roll was a monk in training when he was a kid too, you know. I bet Ahlbi looked up to him. But he had to give that up and go to work when his family needed money. That's why he became a guard. But at least that way he could stay at the temple. He was so proud when he was put in charge of guarding the treasure box. He even got to carry the box to the palace of the New Year's rite. The victim's parents apparently both died relatively young, so Mr. Roll had to support his younger brothers and sisters as well. But even with his job as a security guard, I'm sure things couldn't have been easy for him. Sounds like his circumstances and Ahlbi's were very similar. Also, I'm gonna just go Ahlbi all the freaking time, I just know it. Mr. Roll encouraged me to never give up. Ahlbi, you train hard and make sure you become a monk one day. Don't end up like me, he'd say. He was always cheering me on my training, and in my tour guide business too. Why in the world would I kill a nice man like that? Yes, I see. You expressed yourself well. Defense. Now you have heard the accused account, are you finally satisfied? If so, let's draw this to an expeditious conclusion. But your majesty, I haven't even cross-examined him yet. That wasn't the end of it. It's been so long, I don't rightly recall what this cross-examining thing is all about. A judge who doesn't know how to what a cross-examination is? What fresh hell is this? I really do wish I could remember how it works. Should I give the judge a refresher? I'm not gonna. I'm not even gonna voice act this bit. We've been through this forever, but you never know. Why would you do that? Present? I certainly don't need any I don't need any gifts from you. Clearly something is getting lost in translation. But what do you do if you can't find any inconsistencies in a testimony? Presenting evidence is one thing, but pressing witnesses? I'll have you know, defense, that I do not allow violence in the courtroom. Rest assured, only gentle verbal pressure is used, no physical force. Well, I'm not convinced. After all, who knows what sort of tactics an attorney will resort to? What are you going to do, cross-examine an orca? One false move, I'll call the bailiff, and he has a gun! Yes, something's definitely getting lost in translation here. For now, I should just focus on my energy on Ahlbi. Okay. So, treasure box with the third statement. The Chinese butterfly. I need to turn down my headphones. Also, I love the little Magatama things there.
Objection!
No, Ahlbi, why would you lie to me? So you say you've never laid your eyes on the treasure box? Is that right? That's right. It's forbidden, so I'd never do that. In that case, how did you know that there was a green butterfly on it? Huh? Because I saw a picture of it in the newspaper article. No. Take another look. These photos are in black and white. You couldn't possibly tell what color the butterfly is from these pictures. Hold on. His bag. Did it just move? Polunka! Or Polkunka! I always thought it was Polunka, but no, it's Polkunka! I beg your pardon? Polkunka is a word in Koreanese that people use when they're surprised. Polkunka! You just exposed a lie! So this is the power of cross-examination? I should be the one shocked here by your shocking lack of understanding. But, just a moment. If the accused was lying, then that just makes him even more suspicious. And this just made things worse for me than ever. Ahlbi, are you hiding something? Please give only true statements. I can't help you if you don't tell me the truth. Darn. Just can't seem to get him to open up to me. So accused, you have seen the treasure box with your own eyes after all, haven't you? Well, maybe I did take a peek one time long ago, but when I was cleaning the treasure room. But you weren't in the treasure room at the time of the incident, right? Of course I wasn't. That is a lie. You were most definitely inside the treasure room on the day of the incident. And I have proof. He does? This was found on the floor of the treasure room. It's a scroll entitled Notice, and contains a list of temple monk duties. These instructions pertain to the day of the incident. And what exactly is that supposed to prove? The accused fingerprints were found on the scroll. What? Oh no! Where is it? It's not here. I must have dropped it somewhere. Indeed, you must have dropped it when you were busy murdering the victim. No. And this means Ahlbi was there on the day of the incident? So this is the power of cross-examination. The more the accused talks, the guiltier he paints himself. Yes, it would seem so, Your Majesty. He predicted my argument and had evidence ready to refute it. How was any of that supposed to help the accused? See, I told you you can't trust lawyers and their lies. Your benevolence already said the kid's guilty. Just declare him guilty and get it over with. No. Everything's going all wrong. Shadow, what do I do? As I suspected, this cross-examination session proved no purpose whatsoever. No, you're wrong. But armed as we are with her benevolence's insights, there's no reason to doubt his guilt. And I guess I'll just have to poke holes in this insight of hers. By the way, this didn't prove to be very interesting at all, Mr. Payne. Nevertheless, I will now finally announce my verdict. Wait just a moment! I haven't seen this Divination Seance for myself yet. As a defense, I have the right to check it. Is it really necessary? I have to get home and apologize to my wife. I guess you really did give him the business. Your Majesty, I enthusiastically support having Mr. Wright see the seance. You do? And why is that, Mr. Payne? Don't you want to see it? See the lawyer being utterly crushed by the power of the seance? And then watch him tearfully beg for mercy? Well now, I'm sure it will make up for not going to that class with your wife. It certainly does sound worth seeing, and it'll give me a juicy tidbit to tell the missus. I've been reduced to a juicy tidbit? Well, for an interloper, I imagine you do have to see it for yourself to be convinced. It's certainly unprecedented, But let's have the Divination Seance performed again. But then right after the tearful begging, I really do have to get going. The only tearful begging is going to come from the prosecution when we're through. How pitiful the defense looks, still scrambling desperately for a foothold, blissfully unaware that defeat and despair are all that await him. There she is, her benevolence. Your benevolence, Rayfa Padma Kurai. Thank you for coming all this way once again. Your gratitude is unnecessary. This is simply my duty. Barbed-headed attorney. Yes? I am told you question the veracity of the sacred divination seance. It would seem the depths of your irreverence and blasphemy are lost on you. I'm just a foreigner, ignorant in the ways and the customs of this country. I apologize in advance for anything rude I may say or do. All I want is a fair trial for Ahlbi. You would imply that the trials of this country are unfair? Do explain, outsider. How verdicts founded on truths imparted by the very souls of the dead lack impartiality. What's fair about trials with no defense and no chance for the accused to tell their story? How dare you speak to her benevolence in such a manner? Did you hear that? Did you hear how he talked to her benevolence? Does he not know anything? Ignorant outsider, we won't stand for it. He must be punished. Looks like I stuck my foot in it this time. Punish him! Punish him! Punish him! Punish him! Silence! Once and all. Or one and all. Is she standing up for me? Be not disquieted, my people. He merely expressed his opinion. Well, it looks like her benevolence is going to be more reasonable than I thought. No. Attorneys are ghastly creatures, with souls stained black by brazen untruths. The words of a lowly worm such as he are not worth troubling yourselves over. Alright, I take that back. None of his prattling can sway the truth of my insights. Rest assured, he will soon see the error of his foolish ways. Now then, your benevolence, the Divination Seance, if you would. Certainly. Nana, my robe.
O Holy Mother, we hold this Divination Seance in your name.
Oh.
Let the eyes of everyone here be clear, and our ears be unstopped. O dance of devotion, guide the victim's soul to me, so that we may receive their final memories in the pool of souls.
Here we go. I love this thing so much. I'll shut up. I never get sick of this. Vroom. What just happened? An image appeared in the pool. A final message from the victim's soul. A last communication of his Mitama. The Divination Seance has revealed this to us. Her benevolence can use her power of spirit communion to project a victim's memories of the last few moments before their demise. So what we saw in the pool was Mr. Roll's what he actually experienced? In the victim's memories, we see the accused raising a weapon up over his head. This is consistent with the findings of the police investigation. There's gotta be some kind of mistake. I didn't know it. This looks bad for Ahlbi. Really, really bad. Now do you see why I'm the incredible pain? More than I can express. But even if those really are the victim's last memories, what can I do with them? There it is. The face of a man being utterly crushed. How long I waited to see it. Isn't it wonderfully gratifying, your majesty? Oh yes, very satisfying indeed. Now are you finally convinced, traveler? The accused is most assuredly guilty. Am I really the only unbiased one here? Now then, I think we've been amused enough. If you give up now, I won't invoke the Defense Culpability Act against you. You will be free to slink back to your own country with your tail between your legs. The Defense Culpability Act? What's that? What? You mean you honestly don't know? No? What's with all the HUD? What's with all the hubbub? Well, well. Not only is he a lying, black-hearted lawyer, but he's also an imbecile. Your Majesty, I think you'd better explain the Defense Culpability Act to him. Yes, I think I'd better. The Defense Culpability Act, or DC Act for short, is as follows. In the name of Her Eminence, those who would support criminals will be deemed just as guilty. In other words, if you help the accused by defending him and he is found guilty, you will receive the same sentence as he. What? What kind of insane law is that? Under the DC Act, many an attorney has been convicted and met with a grim fate. Some went to prison, others received the death penalty. That's why there are so few in our country who truly admit to being an attorney. That is how it should be. The history of our courts proves that attorneys are black-souled creatures who would tell any lie to save the accused. Thus, attorneys deserve to be Let me redo that. Attorneys deserve to be exterminated! I never felt such hostility coming at me from all sides. What could have happened to make everyone feel this way? You fell right into my trap, Phoenix Wright. Your win streak against me and my brother ends today. With the Seance and the DC Act on my side, I'll finally get my revenge. So that's why you're so eager to have me defend him. Chased out and humiliated back home, fate brought me to the foothills of Kurai. I thank my lucky stars that I'm chief prosecutor here now. Defense. Know that if I rule that the accused is guilty, you will go to prison too. That explains Ahlbi's reaction earlier. Your Majesty, isn't a prison sentence a little lenient? After all, we're talking about treason. One should pay for such a crime with one's life. Yes, I believe the death penalty might be appropriate under these circumstances. The death penalty? No way! You're kidding, right, Your Majesty? Do I look like I'm kidding? I'll have you put your life and your dark, tainted soul on the line here. Death? This can't be happening. The courts of resignation. Our courts are well known as thus. In this land where my seances provide the truth and no attorneys can intervene, criminals know that all they can do is resign themselves to their fate. Oh, poor lawyer, I ask you once more. Are you sure you still want to defend the accused? There's Maya to think about in all this, too. I can't just lay down my life. What in the world should I do? Isn't this why I became a lawyer in the first place? To help those who had no one on their side? Can't just abandon everything I believe in. All I can do now is stand firm and fight! Well, don't hold your tears back on my account, Phoenix Wright. Admit your defeat and grovel before me, the chief prosecutor for your life.
Objection!
Even if it means being subject to the Defense Culpability Act, I will defend Ahlbi. What? But Mr. Wright... The defendant insists he's innocent, and not even a Divination Seance should be accepted without examination. Polkunka! But if I'm found guilty, you'll get the death penalty too. Even knowing that, you still want to defend me? I don't know what happened in the past, but it looks like everywhere in this country, or everyone in this country considers lawyers to be liars. So I can understand if you don't believe me. But I still believe in you and your innocence. So all I have to do is keep believing and find the truth. That's all there is to it. Barbed-head attorney, you continue to amuse me. Though your barbed jabs are proving to be more than mere jokes. Your benevolence. Believe me when I say that this attorney will knock your insides out. Insolent, disrespectful attorney! You will have plenty of time to regret your folly in the Twilight Realm. Ooh. Not a wise move, traveler. Not wise at all. You should have taken the chance I offered to save your life. But you've made your choice. The Defense Culpability Act will be applied in this case. And with this verdict, you'll both soon be parting with your heads. The souls of the departed speak only the truth, and I but give their messages a voice. If you think my insights contain falsehood, I challenge you to prove it! The accused swung whatever he was holding down on the victim's head. With the pain, the victim's vision went dark, That is when he lost his life. Still, I can't believe it. A murder after a morning dance of devotion? These are the victim's experiences just before his death. As the victim's final memories, we can assume these aren't lies. So how do I break this down? Allow me to relieve you of your ignorance, defense. Did you notice the words that appeared in the seance vision? Come to think of it, I did see words, like Song of Ceremony and Incense. The victim's final memories are not limited to sight alone. Sight, smell, taste, sound, touch. All is laid bare in the pool of soul. So what Mr. Roll experienced is his five senses appear as a vision in the vision as words? Precisely. And by examining these sensations, we can perceive the victim's final moments with unparalleled clarity. Works for me. I can use all the extra information I can get. Now to find a contradiction between her insights and seance vision. Your benevolence, I ask that you please show me the seance vision again. Very well. Just the smugness on her face, it's just amazing. Wait a minute. Her benevolence said after the morning's dance of devotion, didn't she? Isn't there something off about that? First I'll use blah 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 to make my way to the insight that seems off. This is the insight that seemed funny. Let us carefully compare this insight with the seance vision. If I notice a sensation that seems contradictory, I'll select it. This part of the vision does seem to... What? Ow. This is the part of the vision that contradicts the insight. Now I just select the sensation I think is inconsistent and present it. Okay, select the sensation as sound... Song of Ceremony. Okay.
Objection!
Wait just a moment! Yes? What is it, barbed head? You were saying the incident occurred after the morning dance of devotion, right? That's right. What of it? Isn't it strange that Mr. Roll could still hear the Song of Ceremony? Oh my, you're absolutely right. Is that all that troubles you? Huh? What the victim heard was just a practice run of the Song of Ceremony. A practice run? What are you talking about? Mr. Payne, if you would. Certainly. Allow me to explain. The incident occurred in the interval between the morning and afternoon dances. During that time, the singers were practicing in the performance hall. Precisely. I was there as well, so I can corroborate this statement. I see. So what the victim heard was that practice session. There goes my contradiction. Okay, so they were practicing in this performance hall. That must be the room where Ahlbi and I saw her benevolence dancing. However, Mr. Payne, I admit one detail troubles me. Ask away, your majesty. It's a big temple. The performance hall and the treasure room are quite far from each other. Could the song really be heard all the way in the treasure room? He's right. It is a very big temple. Well, how about it, Mr. Payne? Your Majesty, have you forgotten? There are speakers in every room of Temple, including the treasure room. Oh, that's right. Speakers? For what purpose? Are you serious, Mr. Wright? They're to broadcast the sacred music of the performance hall throughout the temple. That's why the victim could hear the song of ceremony in the seance vision. It was a practice run going on in the performance hall, heard over the speakers. Thank you for your explanation, Your Benevolence. That makes perfect sense even to a feeble-minded old man like me. Think nothing of it. Now, if you wouldn't mind, could you please alter your insights? Very well. Okay, insight revised. Second statement with the pain, the victim's vision went... Okay. I think I'm getting the hang of this. If I point out an inconsistency, she'll update her insights. So if I keep pointing things out, maybe I can knock all of her insights out after all. Better find another inconsistency, no matter how small. Okay, so second statement with the pain. It's a bit hard to focus with the insights with the seance vision going. I'll try using pause to temporarily stop the victim. There, paused it. I think I can use circle and square to jump to different parts of the vision. I'll try moving the Mitama mark to the flashing red panel there. Okay, now I know how to get around the seance visions. It's time to find inconsistencies with the insight and the vision. Okay, so second statement. Where he lost his life. Okay. Select sight, highlight, any point of the black area. Okay, select statement. Sight in any black area before pain appears. Okay.
Objection!
I think I got it. It's a little tricky, but you're saying the victim's field of vision went dark right after he was struck, correct? Of course, as anyone with eyes can see. Well, pardon me, but I must disagree. What? Your Benevolence, please take another look at the exact moment the victim felt pain. Oh! Everything goes black, and then only after that the victim feels pain. Inconceivable! This places the order of events at odds with what you say happened. My word! Polkunka! Your Benevolence, what is the meaning of this? I cannot be wrong. My insights are beyond fallacy. If what the defense says is true, this is a very grave matter indeed. Please forgive me, Your Benevolence, but I'm afraid this contradiction is something we simply cannot ignore. Now, let's not be too hasty. I think I can clear this up. You have something to add, Mr. Payne. 1,000 apologies. It seems the prosecution has failed to make one tiny thing clear. And that would be... on the day of the incident, there was a power outage. A blackout in one part of the temple. And as I recall, the crime scene was in that sector. The power outage must be why the victim's field of vision went dark. I apologize for neglecting to tell the court this detail. I'm afraid it slipped my mind. Or rather, you knew it all along and just letting it slip is convenient. The power outage knocked out both the lights and the speakers. Oh, there was a blackout there? There was a blackout there, was there? Well now, that explains everything, does it not? What do you mean, your benevolence? Please share your thoughts with us if you could. The blackout occurred when the accused and the victim were faced with one another. Fearing the victim would flee under the cover of darkness, the accused swiftly brought his weapon down on the victim's head. I see. That makes perfect sense. So the victim was struck after the lights went out. The depth of your insight is awe-inspiring, your benevolence. Give her a hand, everyone. Well done! Long may you live and prosper. Or whatever the Star Trek reference was. Hey, I want to live long and prosper. There it is! Enough applause. You flatter me. Now, your benevolence, in light of this new information. Yes, of course. I will alter my insight. Okay. Alright. So, one can safely assume... Okay. Because okay, second statement. One can safely assume... Okay, when the blackout began at 5th frame. Okay. So much for my inconsistency. At least I was able to draw out some new info. And with this new info comes a chance for new inconsistencies, as I compare the insights with the vision again and see what I can dig up. Okay, so second statement at 5th frame. Okay, so 5th frame, I gotta stop it. Pause when pain appears. Okay. Yeah, this is a little trickier than normal. Ah, shit. Ah. Shit. How do I pause it? So one can safely assume. Okay, so pause. Oh, I pause with X. Okay, I've been trying to press the other button. Okay, so it's the fifth frame. Okay. Okay, so apparently what this is when pain appears, the Song of Ceremony. So when pain appears. Okay. And then select Song of Ceremony.
Objection!
Wait, this is the hole I've been looking for. Okay, I was almost on auto for a second because I was pressing too many buttons. Your benevolence, as impressive as your spirit communion power is, it's not infallible. You never know when to stop talking, do you? I hope you realize your words are an insult to all adherents of Cryonism. Defense, watch what you say. If you don't mind that tongue of yours, you won't have one left to mind. It's certainly not my intention to insult spirit mediums, but maybe I'm not the one who needs to learn when to stop talking. What malarkey! I believe you said a few moments ago that the victim could hear the Song of Ceremony thanks to the temple speakers. But then how do you explain how the victim could still hear the Song of Ceremony even after the power went out? Oh, that contradicts the fact. This contradiction of facts can only mean that the Song of Ceremony Mr. Roll heard was not coming from the speakers. What? Impossible! What are you saying? That the song he heard was coming directly from the performance hall? That's exactly what I'm saying. It's the only possible explanation. But the scene of the crime is nowhere near the performance hall. Right. The song couldn't make its way all the way to the treasure room. Unless... You mean to say... Yes, the treasure room was not the actual scene of the crime. It must have been somewhere else, somewhere closer to the performance hall. What? You can't be serious! There's a glaring contradiction in the claims of her benevolence in the prosecution. Therefore, the defense insists that this case be thoroughly re-examined. What? No! This is completely unprecedented! An inconsistency in her benevolence's insights? Unbelievable! Heed not his forked tongue, your majesty! These are but claims of a corrupt lawyer, a feeble ruse from a feeble mind. But the contradiction revealed by the defense is undeniable. We can't just turn a blind eye to it. But the defense's assertion is, in the end, meaningless. Even if the location of the murder turned out to be different, it doesn't change what we've seen at the moment of the murder. Indeed, the accused is standing right there in front of the victim. Furthermore, the murder weapon remains raised above his head. My insights still stand. I hate to admit it, but she's right. The seance vision still makes the situation look really grim for Ahlbi. I doubt even the defense can dream up an explanation as to why. The accused has his hands up over his head. Well, this defense dares to dream of making out of this nightmare alive. You what? You still insist on trying to tear down my insights, do you? You'd better be prepared to back up your claim. Remember what will happen to that tongue if we find you're just wagging it. Of course I could back up my claim just as soon as I think of something. You appear to be fully prepared, defense. As the embodiment of the court, I give you permission to try and prove your claim. As long as you're willing to stake your life on it. I concur, your majesty. Prepare the tongue... Prepare the tongue shears. Chop, chop. Chop, chop. So, Rayfa tends to say some weird stuff. Some childish things. It's great. Well, let's have the bailiff fetch them. I think I saw a suitable pair in the basement. Chop, chop. Stop, stop. I hear that lying lawyers have several tongues to spare. I'm sure he won't miss one. Yikes, these people are actually serious. I'm rather attached to my tongue. St. Phoenix, think. Other than raise a weapon, why would Ahlbi have his hands up like that? Oh, that's why. The reason the defendant had his hands up over his head can be explained by something in the crime photo. What explains he has had his hands raised above his head?
Take that!
As in the seance vision, I witnessed the defendant raise both his hands over his head yesterday. You did? Where did you see such a thing? When the police had their guns trained on him as they made their arrest. Oh, what are you saying? The victim was a security guard, and an armed one at that. The defense proposes that the victim had pointed his firearm at Ahlbi, and that's why the defendant's hands were raised in the air. Oh, Kunka! Little dramatic much? Who would have thought that the seance vision could be interpreted that way? This is not possible. It can't be. Not bad for a total knockout. How dare that lawyer devil go against her benevolence? He's no better than that traitorous snake, Dirk. Traitorous snake? Dirk? Who's that? No. I can't believe it. A contradiction in one of my insights? There has to be some kind of mistake. I won't accept it. That's right, your benevolence, and I won't accept it either. It goes against all we hold sacred. Throw him in jail immediately for His Majesty. What? Yeah, you said it. Throw him in jail. Make him pay for the way he disrespected her benevolence. These people are definitely not my fans right now. That's right, exterminate him!
Peace! Give me peace! I said peace!
Now, everyone, please calm down. Is he? Your Majesty, please assign this black-hearted attorney a suitable punishment. No, I cannot charge him with less Majesty. What? What? But why not? He was simply following the proper procedure for defending the accused. There's nothing unlawful about that. But, Your Majesty, don't you want to wrap up this trial quickly? Why not just give your verdict? Then you can go home and make it up to your wife. We cannot end this trial now. Not when we've learned new information about the case. What? Your Majesty! Not you too! You would honestly entertain the idea that my insights contain a contradiction? Truly, it is shocking. In the 20-plus years since the DC Act went into effect, such a thing has not occurred. To be honest, I don't want to believe it either. But with his life on the line, the defense pointed out an inconsistency, and it is our duty to scrutinize everything to the satisfaction of the law. You dare go against the royal priestess, you non-believer! No, my faith is as strong as ever. But I have a duty to make a fair ruling in this trial. If you insist on interfering with that process, your benevolence, I'm afraid I must request your removal from this courtroom, royal priestess or not. What? I'll have you know, your benevolence. Please acquiesce in this, your benevolence. If looks could kill, I won't forget this offense, barbed head. I do not admit defeat. I won't. Bailiff, please see her benevolence out. Your Mitama will face due retribution in the Twilight Realm. The demons there they'll pluck out the barbs right out of your stupid head. I hope your suffering will be super duper painful, and I hope they throw you into a lake of burning fire. Yes, and then she's just the best. I guess she's still a teenager after all. Now then, defense. Mr. Light, was it? That's right, Your Majesty. Phoenix Wright. Of course, Mr. Wright. My apologies. Now that we have this newly uncovered fact, I guess we should proceed with arguments. Okay. Oh dear. Made it. Oh boy. I'll take this as a good sign. We're making progress, and I do have to remind you, this is a much longer game than even the last one was. Because Spirit of Justice and Dual Destinies are a lot longer than Apollo Justice, so they stretch these trials out quite a bit. So I'm going to take it here. I'm going to take a break here, and then we'll get to it in the next episode. Thanks for watching.